Oh, it's you guys. The wind is calling me. It brought me a message. It seems the situation in my homeland has become even worse. The Dark Forest. It's a sacred forest blessed by the deer spirit and protected by the stars themselves. It's also the place where I grew up. It used to be such a beautiful, harmonious place. But then, the corruption appeared. A filthy magic that can never be eradicated. One that grows back whenever we cut it down. Finding a way to purge the corruption is the whole reason I left my home in the first place. I've been wandering around looking for help ever since. I've spoken to a spire mage, and even a druid in a cabin. But the answer's always the same. It's as if the corruption has a life and will of its own, and refuses to be removed from our lands. So, when I heard there was a powerful mage living near Ryham, I figured I would test my luck. That's when I discovered those strange grapes. The magical instability in Ryham looked just like the corruption in the Dark Forest. I thought that if I followed you, I might find a way to get rid of the corruption. At first, I wasn't very hopeful. I didn't expect to come face to face with the legendary Merlin, nor did I expect you to purge the corruption in these lands. But I saw it all for myself, with my own eyes. If anyone can save my homeland, it's the great and powerful Merlin. So please, Magister Merlin, I'm begging you. Will you deliver my home from certain doom, just like you did with Ryham? What? You're the all-powerful Merlin, aren't you? Oh well. Please, save my home. Save the Dark Forest.
So, he's running the show. You were able to save him, I see.
Yes, my lady. My apologies. I never intended for this eyesore to end up in your presence. I will remove him from your sight at once.
No, please! I beg you, give me one more chance.
One last chance.
Yes, just one last chance. I will not disappoint you, my lady.
I hope not, for your sake.
My lady, pardon me, but I've seen you kill for less.
He did help us with our little problem, so it wasn't a total failure on his part. I'll give him one last chance. All that matters is our little experiment on the other side of the Dark Forest.
We're back! It all went well!
Chippy, you're getting too excited. Of course Magister Merlin was going to fix the seal. Right?
I don't need details. It's an honor to have you here helping Ryham. Come with me. I'll need your help with the interrogation. Steak, good brew, and freshly caught eels from the lake. Oh, also, here are some nuts for you to enjoy.
It's not often that the General is this generous. Unfortunately, we won't be able to enjoy this feast with you.
You're not saying no to my hospitality, are you? The Dark Forest? You mean the woodlands north of Hollowstone? I heard there's been trouble in that region lately. The Wilders hold dominion in those lands. Even though it's only across the river, as a magistrate of the Lightbearer Empire, I have no authority beyond Hollowstone.
General, long story short, she has been invited by the Wilders to help solve a crisis that is very similar to what Ryham has gone through.
So, something strange is happening over there as well. Don't worry about it. I understand nothing is more important than the safety of the people. I'll pray to Jura for you. I hope your journey goes well, and you return safely.
Magister, are you leaving without me again?
Magister Merlin, are you embarking on a new journey? I was talking to Miss Muriel about the principles of a magic circle, but I finished. You were gone. Miss Muriel, are you going with Magister Merlin? I'm sorry if I was wasting your time earlier.
No need to apologize. I'm well aware that Magister Merlin is always running off to find the next disaster. Like oil and water, we can never mix. I'm destined to not be without her company. Never mind. I'm used to waiting for her. At least this time, you won't forget me, right, Magister? That's all I needed to hear.
Magister Merlin, I'll remain here with Miss Muriel and observe the results of the seal's restoration. We'll be able to see Ryham flourish once again. Dura above, wherever you may roam or stay, may your magic light the way.
What's wrong, Bunny Ears? Is there an issue with the boat?
Nope, the boat's fine. It's at the docks. Hasn't moved since I got here.
Things have been a little messy in the Dark Forest lately. Do you really have to go?
We're going there to fix it.
You? I guess, since you're a wilder, maybe you won't have a problem. Here's the deal. I'll get you there, but I won't do anything else.
Sure, sure.
Same rules as before, then.
Ah, please tidy up a bit more. These are my guests, and I can't have them stuffed into the cargo hold like I was. I didn't have a lot of money. It was fine, but there's no way I'd let you do that. Then it's time to set sail. Dark Forest, I have returned.
What's happening here? The Dark Forest should be wilder territory, but it's swarming with light bearers everywhere.
Plus, people here seem like they've been wallowing in the mud, all grubby and upset.
Since you have a ship, it's best to depart from here. If there's space on your ship, kindly consider taking these refugees too.
It's pretty damp and cold by the river. You should take everyone to the forest, and let my people take good care of them.
Those bunny ears, are you one of the Wilders?
You bet I am. Thanks to my ears, I was able to hear them say your name.
You lot issued an exclusion edict, and are forcing refugees to leave the Dark Forest. I haven't had a chance to sort things out with you. Look at the weak and elderly. Is this the Wilders' way of welcoming guests? What happened to your once peaceful and benevolent demeanor?
Hold on. What exclusion edict?
Enough talk. I'm taking them into the forest no matter what it takes.
My shield is unbreakable!
Ouch. My arm.
You're injured? That shouldn't be. My blade hasn't even touched you.
Oh my, you're hurt! How about listening first before diving into action?
A sword wielder. 2 talking hamsters? And you? Who are you all, really? What are you going to do about the exclusion edict? Even if that bunny-eared boy gets in, the Wilders will still drive you guys out. Because you're all outsiders in the eyes of the Wilders, just like us.
Mr. Corrin, we were invited to come down from Hollystone to help with some small problems in the forest. If I still can't gain your trust, here's my heroic order emblem. And as for these few... This is my friend and her hamster familiars. As you can see, she is a great mage.
You don't have to tell me. I learned that a moment ago. Now that you've introduced yourselves, here's the story. These refugees from the Remnant Peaks had their village attacked by golems. They've come to the Dark Forest seeking help. They also sought help from Hollystone, but something odd occurred there, and their pleas went unanswered. Forced to flee, they've ended up here.
Well, talk about coincidence. We happen to be the ones involved in the Hollystone incidents.
What? You...
No, don't get me wrong. What I meant to say is that's too bad. If you go to Hollystone now, I'm sure those soldiers would be willing to take you in.
These refugees leave immediately. You just arrived here from Hollystone. I understand that you may not be familiar with the forced expulsion of refugees. Sorry for my impulsive behavior earlier. A very simple and cruel order. Non-Wilders are strictly forbidden from entering the forest. Those who enter and stay are promptly expelled without question.
Unbelievable! The Dark Forest has always been a welcoming place for friends from afar, particularly around the docks, where there are camps for traders and travelers.
You are half right. Those camps have indeed been a lifesaver, sparing the refugees from rough nights after a long journey. But the exclusion edict is also true.
I don't understand. Why are my people blaming the humans for the corruption? I guess I've been away from home for too long.
Something seems off. How about we have Lorson lead us to the forest and see for ourselves? Just standing around won't help. Let's go investigate further into the corruption and the exclusion edict.
Let me lead the way. I need to know what's the deal with this exclusion edict.
unbreakable!
Mr. Corrin, are there any ships at the dock?
No, there are only a few half-dilapidated ships. I met a wilder who's willing to help, so maybe with his support I can go into the forest and talk things over with the person in charge. Once the edict is lifted, you'll be free to enter the forest and recuperate. Is little Jonathan's fever down?
He's fine now, all thanks to the herbs you found. Since there's still hope of getting into the forest, I will stay here a little longer and do my best to take care of everyone.
Miss, I noticed there are still quite a few elderly people and kids in the tents. Are only a few of you taking care of this big camp?
When the golems attacked our village, the men insisted on having the elderly and children evacuate first, so only the mothers came along.
We need someone to stay here and ensure their safety. Considering their shortage of supplies and manpower, leaving them here could put them in danger. Whether it's lifting the exclusion edict or removing the corruption, there's no time to lose. I will stay here. Mr. Corrin, Lorson, and you, please head to the forest first. Sorry. Allow me to go back on my word for the sake of protecting these poor folks.
The heroic order truly lives up to the ideals of justice and bravery. Valen, I'm counting on you to protect Clementine and the rest. Don't worry. Anyone who dares lay a finger on her shall face my spear first.
Was a total success.
It's a good thing that Valen stayed behind. These Gruglins could have posed threats to the refugees. During my patrol earlier, I noticed that the Gruglins around here are more violent than usual.
Gruglins going crazy for no apparent reason, and strange crops absorbing leyline magic. This is just like what happened in Hollowstone.
Nonsense. Why would there be a connection between them? Perhaps the Wilders only imposed the exclusion edict to protect us from the Gruglins in this area. I suppose that's too good of an explanation.
The Gruglins in the forest weren't this aggressive before I left. Could it be that grapes from Ryham have grown around here too? Ugh, I can't wrap my head around this. Do you have any clues? Oh, right. I remember there's one nearby. Apart from here, corruption is also spreading in the depths of the forest. It's called corruption because it affects plants, making them look like they've decayed. Clearing out the decayed parts won't prevent them from regenerating, much like the grapes near Ryham. Words may not suffice. Come with me and I'll show you.